Good morning, it is Monday 27th of April 2020. We're on about, day 3000 of lockdown, so today I am about to go to work and as you can see I'm not in the car, so I'm hoping it's not too echoey. So welcome back, and if you're new here do go ahead and like and subscribe if you're interested in seeing me struggle or attain weight loss depending on the week. So drum roll please. We do have some news in that I have managed to lose 5 kilos. I think it's my best ever weight loss since last Monday, and really it's testament to just how badly I was eating. So the things that I said last week that I wanted to do was to read the first chapter of this, which I have done. In fact I read the first 2 chapters and this particular one here, which is how do thin people think, I found really interesting because there's quite a few things about feedback that I'd like to put in it. So it's the Beck Diet Solution by Judith S. Beck, and it's using cognitive behavioural approaches to weight loss. I think you probably will have seen it all over like Facebook and YouTube about Noom. I'm not using Noom, and in fact I did say last week I'm going to get rid of the Weight Watchers app, which I did. I've still got the MyFitnessPal app, which I've been using. I didn't put that 89 kilos in last week, and I wish I had now, so I'm going to see if I can go back. I did have a look back. I was actually exactly the same weight 2 years ago. So there is a definite, it's a slow yo-yo, which is good, because it's actually what Dr. Beck says. I don't know if she's a doctor. I don't think she's a doctor. So it does say in the front she's a psychologist. So I think she doesn't tell you what to eat, but some of the things that I've ticked in her book are, do you sometimes eat even though you're not really hungry? Well, to be fair, at the moment it's a bit like being with lockdown. It's a bit like being a pig with truffles. In fact, my friend has coined the phrase Corona Stoner. So yeah, the ability to put on a stone really, really quickly, which is just what I did. So do I know the difference between being hungry and needing something to eat? And the God's honest truth is no, I don't. I used to know. I think when I was a kid I can remember being ravenously hungry, and I definitely have hungry days. Are you sometimes concerned that you might not have the opportunity to eat? What if I get hungry later? This is less, it resounds less with me, because I have things like dinner breaks, and I know that I can force the matter if I want to. I can turn around to my boss and I can say, look, I need my lunch, behave. And of course I have some really bad habits like eating lunch at my desk. I noticed with MyFitnessPal I didn't have a lot of time to log, because that was something I said I was going to do last week, and I've done it for exactly 2 days. Half a morning this morning, which is 1 day, which is cheating, and Friday, so everything's been quite late coming to the party. But will I get hungry later? No, I'll eat dinner, tea, midnight, doesn't really matter. In fact, I've changed MyFitnessPal to have midnight snack and calories you want to hide in it as well. So do you sometimes eat past the point of mild fullness? Yes. I quite often say, I need my Joey pants, from France. It would be quite nice to have maternity pants, and in fact my work pants are extremely stretchy and they remind me of my clothes. So I think, yes, I do. I like the feeling of being full. For some people, I'm guessing if you were skinny, you might feel a bit ill with that. Do you fool yourself about eating? It won't matter a small piece of something you're not meant to eat all the time. When you go into MyFitnessPal, there isn't like a bite of a chicken nugget, there isn't a tidgy bit of this, there isn't like quarter of a sausage, so I'm going to have to get like the tiniest weighing scales. Going to look like some kind of drug dealer, aren't I? But that's the thing that you do when you like choose a diet to go on. Now this book hasn't gone on about that yet. I know that's coming later, but it's a case of I've done this before, it's worked before. I've never got to the back of the book. Like this book is completely, it's completely overused, abused. it's got coffee rings in it. But then you get to day 13, so it all kicks off in about 2 weeks. It's an 8-week program. You get to day, I think the furthest I've ever got is this one here. I've got the corner pulled out terrible. I'm normally really good with my books, but I use this one so much. So day 17, 153, is how far I've got, and I've never got to page 277. So hopefully that bit is about losing the weight and keeping it off. So yeah, I'm not too crazy about the idea of going through the whole book, but I am going to try and do it this time, because if this doesn't work, I've got another backup plan that's based on psychology, and we're just going to see if this works, because I know it works to a point, and then I get bored, because novelty value is everything. So do you comfort yourself with food? Since going dairy free, this has been a bit harder, because my true comfort foods are things like ice cream, chocolate, biscuits, which also have lots and lots of dairy in them. And there has been a packet of rich tea passed through this house which is dairy free, and I know that Oreos are dairy free. So the thing is about comfort food is you want it there at the time, because it's there to comfort in a crisis, and that means that I'd have to get out of my pyjamas, which is what I also do in a crisis. I try to go to sleep quite often, and go to the shops, and nobody's going to the shops. So at the moment, that's not as much of a problem. So if the scale goes up, do you sometimes abandon your diet altogether? Oh yeah, it's like a little switch where I just go, sack this, what's the point anyway? And I just make it so much worse. It's like abandon all hope. If I've put weight on, I can have a really, really, really bad week. I'll just keep on going. I remember years and years ago sat in a slimming world class, and I put on 7 pounds in a week, which is not unheard of for me. And I burst out into tears, to the point where they had like a little prize for the biggest slimmer of the week, and she gave me her flowers because I was absolutely mortified, because I think it has probably taken me about 4 months to lose half a stone, and I just couldn't see past it for a wee while. But I did successfully lose weight after that as well. I was just really gutted. I was just really gutted, because I think I was near target as well, and the nearer I get to target, the worse the astonishing capacity for annihilating myself gets. So if the scale, do you sometimes eat because it doesn't feel fair and you can't eat like everyone else? Well, no, I think because I've read this book before, and actually thin people, they don't eat, that it's very, very unlikely I'm ever going to meet anybody who can eat what they like, when they like, and how much they like, and that how much they like be the same as my how much, because my how much is enormous. And for me, it's always been about portion size. I also remember another Slimming World fable. I've got quite a few fables from Slimming World. I was only eating chicken and I think lettuce or something for an entire week, which is not what they recommend, by the way. And I was still putting on weight. And they were like, how are you putting on weight? But I was eating a chicken and a half a day. I was like a barbarian, like a feast. And now I eat a lot better portions, you know. They are certainly not as bad as then. But that's only this week, because last week it was like, yeah, I can do an Easter egg after breakfast. Of course I can. So do you stop dieting as soon as you've lost weight? I used to say no, not really, but the truth is, slowly but surely all that weight came back on, until eventually when lockdown came and I got sick, that I lost a lot of weight, thought woohoo, can eat anything I want, and came out ravenous, absolutely ravenous, and just ate everything in sight. So yes, unfortunately I do, but it's not like the minute I've lost weight. Okay, if you've answered yes to any of these questions, you possess the characteristics that make dieting difficult. Quite a few characteristics there then. I think the biggest one that I don't really go to is characteristic 2, where they say you have low tolerance for hunger and cravings because I don't really feel hunger. I'm wondering whether I ever felt it as a child. I I don't remember ever as a young child ever being hungry. In fact, I remember being the opposite way around. So I would throw up after birthday parties because I'd eaten so much, and my mum would give me a note to say, please don't let like Kate eat all the sandwiches, because I would just eat a tray of sandwiches and then get home and throw up. Not that I throw up anymore, because I'm too snidey with my food. So I don't get that sick feeling, but I can remember as a kid lying in bed and thinking, I'm going to get sick because I ate too much today. Because, I would eat the cake, and I'd eat the fairy cakes, and I'd eat the crisps, and I'd eat the orange pieces, and I'd eat the strawberries. And the mums would be really, like, the other mums, the birthday mums would be like, oh my gosh, she's fantastic, she eats everything, because every other kid was picky, and I was not. Now, boarding school was a bit more, because I boarded, and the school food, to be fair, not great. There was, but I managed myself. I'll even eat bad food. I'll even overeat bad food. So it really doesn't resemble a problem for me. But I'm sure, since she's put it in her book, it probably resembles a problem for a lot of other people. And I just don't see it that way. What I was as a teen, when I moved out of home, very late teenage years and into early adolescence, was always broke. I was really, really broke. So being skint meant that I would rely on fast food. I worked at a fast food restaurant, and I didn't have a lot of money for food. I can remember doing our entire shop for probably about 2 weeks. We used to go to like weigh and pay shops, so I would pick up just the amount of pasta that we had, and I was always taught to cook, so I was always able to make grand meals, even though it was like the tiniest baby belling with like 2 burners and a oven the size of a grill. But I would make mammoth meals on this out of £10 a week, and I would try and do large amounts of meat, but it was always quite poor cuts of meat, so it was always fatty. And there was a time when a deep fat fryer did enter into my house. God, the whole house must have stank. I can't imagine having a deep fat fryer now. But, that was something that we did. It was chips with everything. So I think that was probably the time. It was more about having money for food. And of course, then I discovered nightlife and social parties. So then I discovered alcohol. And I think really interesting this week, the absolutely massive difference was actually on Monday, out of the blue, about 5 minutes after I had actually done my video for you guys, I got poorly. And I had this really run of fast heartbeat. I'm perfectly fine, but I did have to go up to the hospital to have it investigated. They didn't find anything. And I've been perfectly fine since. But one of the things that everybody kept saying to me was caffeine and alcohol, and I was like, oh my gosh, am I like a caffeine and alcohol junkie? And I noticed not being able to have those two things. Well, the first thing I got was a really bad headache. Not having caffeine, by Tuesday my head was banging, but that went by Wednesday. I've got decaf tea, I've got decaf coffee, and the alcohol I've not missed as much. When you sit in the garden and it's a nice hot sunny day, I would like it, and I got some alcohol-free wine, so that was really handy too. And that is it, because it's time to go to work, and I've got to drop the little one off at childcare and get my scrubs on and do my day. So a really, really successful week, but it has been quite interesting through the Beck book and really see what it is about my psychological makeup that makes me have problems, and that I think the potential is there to really investigate it as we go through the 6-week program. So I'm hoping the next 6 weeks we'll see a lot less of me and a lot more of you guys. So I'm hoping that you all have brilliant weeks. Everybody's keeping safe, keeping inside. Please socially isolate. I am going to work, so you guys can stay at home and stay healthy. All right, see you later. Bye.